I'll start with a review for this book, The Power of Vulnerability. I'm going to give this book 2 stars out of 5. One of the reasons is that this is not a book, it's actually a lecture. And you can hear the audience, you can hear clapping, so I think it's a little bit of a waste of time. Without that, I would give this book a 3. Because I think she didn't do a really good job transferring this information or talking about vulnerability. Most of this book, when I'm going to call it a book, most of this book is not about vulnerability. So it's just a general self-help book. There is some parts about vulnerability, but the rest is just random things about self-help, which some of them are more helpful than the others, but it's not about vulnerability necessarily. So general self-help. In addition to that, I didn't agree with her about certain things, which I'm not necessarily wrote down, and I didn't learn that much, great deal of information out of this one. So that's the part of the review. Let's see some notes that I took down while listening to this book. The first one is, shame is guilt directed to oneself rather than on behavior. So that's the difference between shame. What's shame? Shame is not the difference, but definition of shame is when it's directed towards oneself. According to the author, judgment is within areas that you're not sure of. You're looking to validate that you're better. I wrote down according to the author because I do not agree with that necessarily. Judgment is within areas that you're not sure of. Yeah, sometimes this is when we have judgments. Some other times, maybe if we're very good at it, we notice that other people are not as good, or we want other people to be better. So there's more place for judgment, I think. Empathy is feeling with, sympathy is feeling for. So the differences between empathy to sympathy. Empathy is feeling with, we feel with the other person. Sympathy is feeling for, feeling for the other people. Expressing joy requires courage and vulnerability. If we want to really experience joy, we need courage and vulnerability. I didn't fully agree with that. Courage, I don't know about courage. Maybe some vulnerability, I would agree with that a little more. Holding ourselves from feeling disappointed is not a great way to live. If we always hold ourselves from feeling disappointed all the time, it's not a great way to live, because we're just going to hold ourselves too much just in order to not feel disappointed. So it's not really a good return. Side note, the author makes many leaps that are not directly related to her field. So that's what I spoke about in that review part. It's a general self-help, and most of that self-help is leaps that are not supported by research. And it's not only it's not supported by research, it's not her field. So she's talking about things that are not from her field. There is no problem about it. You can talk about whatever you want. This is just a notation. Some people there's a lot of leaps there that are not necessarily. For me, it bothers me sometimes, especially if I disagree. If I agree with that, it's all good. But when I disagree with that, I would like to hear a little more background, which there isn't. So that's the idea here. And that's it for notes. And again, I'll give this one 2 stars. It might get a 3 if I would read the actual book or not a lecture, as I said. But other than that, that's it. Thank you.